thing up. I like it. You don't even have to hold the clutch in like my Triumph. Well, like my old Triumph. But what's going on, everyone? It's Nice Pants Lance. Gonna be talking quick today, but I'm doing a first ride on the Indian Chieftain Darkhorse. This is slick. It's all blacked out. It's got the 116. At the Indian demo event, so we're on a guided demo tour thing. Whew, this is low. I do not have. How the heck do I do things? Okay, fair enough. All right, so this is the Indian Chieftain. It's a touring bike. I'm also going to be talking about the metrics that I have discussed in last videos. As far as getting a new bike for me. Clunk. Man, this thing feels really low. Like even the bars feel low. Last couple of Indians I rode had 8s on them, so this is more what I'm used to. Baby, this thing hauls ass. Woo! Oh man, so this is a touring bike. Alright, I'm just gonna lift that windshield up. Okay, never mind. We're putting that windshield back down because it's pitching all the wind right into my face. I am not liking the windshield so far. Not because this windshield is poor, but because I don't like windshields. It's either right at the top of my head or it's blasting me in the face. So anyways, let's talk about the bike. This is a Chieftain. This thing's loaded with tech. This is a touring bike with a fork mounted fairing. So the fairing is mounted right to the forks. That means that when you're holding onto the handlebars, you're actually holding on to the weight of this front fairing as well. 6-speed, 116 thunderstroke engine. Love the 116. Man, alright. Darkhorse, huh? I'm super stoked about this. I've always been wanting to ride one of these touring bikes. I rode a Challenger, but I've never ridden a Chieftain, so super excited about this. I'm liking this so far. Look at that, you could like charge your phone in there. Ugh. You got a bunch of technology. I got live maps. I got freaking tire pressure monitor, cruise control. You got freaking radio. I'm not going to show you the radio, the speakers. I'm not going to go through the menus, but you can actually drag your finger down and swipe it down just like a cell phone. Access features. Actually, screw it. We'll do that. We'll put it into sport mode. Look at that. We'll put it into sport mode. Just like a freaking cell phone. And if there's this button on the left-hand side here, the left-hand control. When you click that, it just brings you right back to the screen you were on before, or maybe that's like a home button or something like that. Looks like it's got electronically locking saddlebags on it. That's slick. In sport mode now, so alright, we're just slow takeoff. Yeah, the mid-range is really nice. The sound is real nice too. It's quiet, but when you open it up, it like increases the sound. For stock pipes, this sounds really nice. I like it. I know I talked some smack about the windshield, but the fact that it goes up and down electronically, that is so cool. I love that a lot. That is definitely not Farkle. That's not a novelty. That is awesome. No more rolling up your window. You just hit a freaking button and up and down. I think it's like 7 inches of windshield travel, I want to say. But anyways, so let's talk about some metrics here. Comfort. Yeah, this is a touring bike, so I believe it's on a similar, if not the same platform as the Indian Springfield that I just rode. So it's long and low, and the seat that's on here is this is the extended reach seat, so this is for longer legged people. The floorboards on this are out front, definitely forward controls. The seat doesn't make it impossibly like far away. I don't feel like I'm stretching or reaching. Feels good. Yeah, that turn felt pretty good too. Auto canceling turn signals. Yes, I said it right. I said it right this time. Auto canceling turn signals are pretty slick. This thing's got more features than I have time to talk about them. So if you wanted a full detailed ride review type video, you're not going to get it. Sorry guys. Restricted by the demo here. I can't go on my own. I don't have unlimited time. So let's talk about more comfort. The seat, very comfortable. It is a different seat than what comes on this. It is the extended reach seat. It definitely has a nice angle to it, so it holds my butt in place. I'm noticing a trend with these Indians. They make a nice seat that cups your butt. This seat feels wider than the Sport Chief seat, which was cup my butt, but it was a little on the thinner side. But I will say this extended reach seat on the Chieftain is not as wide as the one on the Springfield. That might change if this had the original seat on it, but yeah, it cups my butt, but it doesn't grab my entire booty. Do I feel like I could ride all day in this thing though? Yeah, I do. It feels smooth. It feels smooth and easy to ride. Feels way lighter than it probably should feel. Whew. Oh man, it's starting to fog up in there. Man, I'm like taking one arm off of the handlebars and I'm just gliding around these turns. Just like with the Springfield, this bike feels so stable in the turns. This is definitely a touring bike. It feels so stable. It feels very controllable. Doesn't feel like the bars are right on top of the front wheel like the Springfield, but that's all right. This thing still turns in pretty good. It doesn't feel as flickable. This is a touring bike after all. When you get more twitchy, you lose stability, and the more stable you get, the slower turn in you get. That's just natural, you know. So comfort, yeah, this has got it. I can definitely feel like I could do this all day. I feel a little bit more on top of the bike than I did with the Springfield. It might just be because of the apes and the way this cockpit is. The Challenger, the front fairing is mounted to the frame, so when you're moving the handlebars around, you do not feel the weight of the fairing. This bike, however, because the fairing is bolted right to the forks, you do feel the weight a little bit. It doesn't feel intrusive, to be honest. I can't really notice the weight of the fairing itself on the handlebars, just because of the way they balance the turning and handling on this. It just feels very well balanced. It's a very well balanced bike. I don't feel at a disadvantage compared to a naked open front end, no fairing having bike. I don't feel at a disadvantage.
Yeah, definitely got the comfort. Got analog, got some LCD stuff. You got the TFT display.
Just like the Springfield, it devoured that bump. Clutch pull feels just as heavy as the Springfield. It's, you know, for almost 800 pound bike, 700 something pound bike, yeah, the clutch pull feels light for what I'm used to. But yeah, it's still, the clutch pull's a little heavier than the Springfield, a lot heavier than the Super Chief, and definitely more heavy than my Speed Twin. Oh yeah, man, you can feel the weight when you're slow speed maneuvering. Floorboards are comfortable though. Gives my feet quite the surface. I feel like I'm a little hunched over, but that gives me more control. Rider triangle, meaning the relationship between my head, my hands, and my feet feels really good. I feel like I'm more in a comfortable position, but I'm not like reclined back. I don't like bikes that force you to chill. Like, what if I don't want to chill? You know, what if I want to get a little freaky in the turns? I don't want to chill. You can't make me. You can't make me do it, motorcycle. You just can't. So I like a bike that allows you to have a more variable riding style. So comfort, yeah, I like the comfort on this thing. It feels comfortable. Performance-wise, let's talk about the performance. I don't want to say too much about the 116. I have been talking about this 116 for a long time now. The last like 2 or 3 videos I did or whatever, I think, oh man, yeah, that just holds that line and just rockets out of the corner. It doesn't have as much of a punch. It doesn't kick me in the groin as hard as the Sport Chief or the Springfield did. This is a much heavier bike, and you have wind blast going around the fairing, so this definitely has a fat mid-range. It doesn't have that violent punch, but it definitely gets up and goes, has a nice sound to it. The 116 is a lovely motor, plenty of power, great platform for modifications. If I got sick of the power, I could just mod the crap out of it and put down some good numbers. Thing's got dual disc front brakes on it, and I'm not going to test those out because I'm not going to just slam on the brakes with people behind me, but I can tell you these brakes are strong, man. They are strong. They feel just as strong as any of the other dual Brembo bikes I've ridden. Might not be able to do a stoppie on this bike, but heck yeah, you could lock up that front. It's got ABS, so you wouldn't lock it up, but you know what I mean. It's strong. It feels right for a bike so heavy. So performance handling wise, the suspension is adjustable in the rear. I think it's got a adjustable monoshock, I want to say. And so far it's very plush, eats up bumps. This is definitely more touring oriented, performance wise or handling wise. The flicking isn't it doesn't feel as nimble as the Springfield or the Sport Chief, but it feels lighter in handling than it really has any right to feel, if that makes any sense. So performance wise, yeah, this is right on the cusp of being kind of out of my riding character. I like something that's really sporty handling. I do want comfort for my next motorcycle. I do like a comfortable bike, but handling wise, I am a more sporty rider. I want something that doesn't make me feel restricted, and I can tell this bike has a few shortcomings. If you wanted to spend a day in the canyons or, you know, carving up different roads, you'd be at a slight disadvantage compared to other bikes. This is definitely a touring bike. There's no getting around that. Like I said, it feels light, feels manageable, but when you're riding it, you are definitely aware that this is a 700 to 800 pound freaking touring bike. Absolutely. So performance wise, yeah, I'll say this does it for me, but man, it's right on the cusp. Right on the cusp. This is definitely more of a touring bike, a muscle bike, straight line sort of motorcycle, you know, doing highway pulls. This is definitely not the bike that you're going to be popping wheelies and freaking doing burnouts and stuff like that. I mean, you could, but I mean, like, you know what I'm saying. This ain't no stunt bike.
Love it. I love it. Nice thunk. Actually, not as much of a thunk. It doesn't have that metallic thunk. Very smooth. I like this. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it looks. Performance it does it for me. Style. Not into touring bikes. It's not my thing. Gosh, yeah, that's a tough one. Style. Yeah, I guess it's, I don't know, with me, the more practical you get with a motorcycle, the less pleasing aesthetically. So this is one of those bikes where it focuses more on practicality and features than it does style.
Positive engagement, but boy, when you open up the throttle, God, it almost sounds like a valved exhaust that you can, like, that goes from quiet to loud. At low RPMs, this thing sounds so quiet, but then as soon as you open it up, like, all this sound just comes out of nowhere. Like, that is so cool. This sounds great. This sounds great for a stock exhaust. Indian, you do such a good job with your sound. Holy smokes. Yeah. Love it. So style. Nah, this doesn't really have the style I like. Is this a nice looking cruiser? Yeah. This bike is in direct competition with the Harley Street Glide. And between the two bikes, I would take this one any day. I like the looks. I know the fairing generates some polarizing opinions. It does look more like the Street Glide fairing now, but it's just enough where, I don't know, the style of the front end, just to me, looks better than the Street Glide. I like the way this looks. I like how it's, you know, got the matte black look to it, or the satin black, or whatever the heck this color is. Yeah, you can definitely feel the weight at a stop. Yeah. Very stable in the turns, of course. But yeah, style, nah, not really my cup of tea, to be honest with you. Not my cup of tea. Don't like the way that touring bikes look. I could care less about the whole Americana, leather daddy, you know, iron pony type style. A lot of guys, when they buy these bikes, they're doing it to fit into a particular demographic. They want to, you know, they want to be some kind of rider. They want to be that, you know, camaraderie having, iron pony, Hell's Angels type look to them. And that's not me. I could care less about how I look or what group I'm fitting into. I want a machine that performs. So that way, no matter who I'm riding with, I know that I can outperform them in a second. Like, I've got more, you know, I've got more than you. I know more than you. So, yeah, style, I don't know, man. It's a big touring bike. If I had enough money, which, actually, no, let's talk about that. So the fourth metric that I've been talking about with the how do I say, the adventure of finding my next motorcycle. The fourth metric is price. And we're not even close to the dealer. We still got time, but this bike is way out of my price range. You guys already knew this. I cannot afford a freaking $20,000+ motorcycle. I can't. I had to get rid of my Speed Twin because it was too expensive, and that was like $13,000 out the door. This thing's over $20,000, brand new. Even the used ones are like freaking 18 grand. And, you know, there just aren't as many used ones out there because people are buying them and they're keeping them. You know, they're not like They're not like Harley's business model, where Harley wants to sell you a bike and then they want to sell you on another one, and they want you to trade that bike for another Harley, and you know, in 10 years they want you to have freaking 3 or 4 Harleys. Yeah, the engine itself is pretty sweet, but because it's having to move such a big bike, yeah, performance-wise, it's, I don't know, man. I keep going back and forth on the performance. I don't know if it has enough. Maybe if I put some cams in here with a tune, it might be enough, but yeah. So, as we're pulling in here, I'll just go over the 4 metrics again. Could this be my next motorcycle? Oops. Where am I going? Is this it? Is this my spot? I think it is. Is this my spot? It sure is. Cool. Alright, let's click it into neutral. Oh yeah, that was the easiest neutral I've ever found, I think. These kickstands, man, they're not as bad as Harley's, but when they set down on the ground, they kind of move an extra inch or 2, and I could care less for that. I want something that feels solid. But look at this. Look at this windshield. That is sweet, man. Wow. Look at that. Beautiful. LED in the front too. Alright, the 4 metrics I got. Comfort. Does this have the comfort? Hell yeah, it does. Of course it does. It's a touring bike. Why wouldn't it? Performance. Does this have the performance I need? Not really. If all I could ride were little baggers, yeah, this would do it. I'd mod the crap out of it to make it my own and make it more powerful, but yeah, I don't know. Performance-wise, this is a touring bike, you know? Style? Man, this is nice for a touring bike, but like I said, the more practical you go, oftentimes you sacrifice some appearance, but for a touring bike, it's a beautiful ride. I like the black. The crash bars right here I like the contour of them, and it's a very aesthetically pleasing bike. I like the matte blacks, so this does it for me. If I had to have any Indian, the Darkhorse models are the ones I would want. Okay, so last one is price. Can't afford it. Not even gonna go on. Can't afford this thing. It's too expensive. So, will this be my next bike? I wish it was, but it's not. I can't do it. Too expensive. So, on to the next one. If you guys like this video, throw me a like. Want to see more? You already know what to do. Subscribe. Peace.